Okay. All right, yeah. They really like to mess with it. And it's probably the most expensive thing that I own, so let's put it back here. We're on the other side. All right, these are all dairy heifers and stuff like that. There's some steers in here. There's no intact bulls or anything like that because these guys are close to breeding age. I don't know if you guys can see, but this cow right here that's on my hand, that's actually, I own that cow, which is probably okay, all right. It's probably the greatest accomplishment that I've ever had in my entire life. I own 2 cows in here, Kylie and Daenerys, after Kylie Jenner, and then Daenerys from Game of Thrones, which I actually haven't seen. But Gibby, you have horns? What, you have horns? Who told you you could grow horns? This is Daenerys right here. All right, this is quite the scene right here. I'm getting mucked up. I'm supposed to be I'm supposed to be doing a script right now, but I'm getting harassed. All right, guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Cooper Giblin, and I am trying to start a cattle company from scratch right now. The cattle company is called Giblin Cattle Company of Maine, LLC. And yeah, we've made some good progress doing it. And I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on how it's going. Right now I currently work on a dairy in Freeport, Maine. It's really fun. It's a great opportunity to get your foot in the door and learn a lot about animal husbandry, how to be with cows and how to move them, how to treat them and stuff like that. If you're you work with dairy cows and stuff like that, like we do our best to keep them as healthy as possible or organic. We feed them great stuff. We really sacrifice a lot to make sure that they are as healthy as possible. And we really don't have that many issues, but when they do pop up, you really do learn how to doctor cows quite well. What I do really enjoy about the dairy cow business is that, look at these guys, they're so friendly, you know, and they're really curious. You get to be with them every single day. Whereas beef cows, because if you run an operation where you're doing cow-calf operation and stuff like that, like those cows will be more afraid of you, which is good and bad in some senses. If you have cows like this that are really friendly and you pet them and all that kind of stuff, like sometimes they don't really want to move when you need them to move to certain places. So I'm getting off script here, but yeah, let's think. For this cattle company, let's get back on track. The main goal is to produce a smaller framed, healthy, grass-fed cow. Grass-fed cow. Okay. 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 I don't know if you can see it, but that's Kylie right there. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a genetic herd, right? Which I really enjoy thinking about that. Producing a healthy, resilient cow that can exist on a low amount because they're smaller frame, they can exist on a lower amount of acreage, right? They're more resilient, they're not high maintenance cows, and they're grass fed. And the way that I'm going to achieve this is hopefully by following this guy, Greg Judy, his method called no risk ranching. And the idea of no risk ranching is basically instead of going to buy a big farm and getting a big loan from the bank and basically working to pay off that interest rate. All right, I'm just getting harassed out here. To pay off that interest rate, you're leasing the land from other people, and instead of investing all your capital into the land purchase and like the barn and all this equipment and all that kind of stuff, you'll be basically investing the capital back into the actual buying cows right now. So I was lucky enough to buy these cows before the cow market got crazy, and I bought them for $2,100 total, so $500 for one cow, and then $800, two cows that cost $800 each. Sorry, I'm getting scratched on. This Danny right here. Oh, so this is one of my cows. Danny, hey Danny. That's a sweet cow. Danny and Kylie are really the cows that I'm trying to produce. They look great. Some of these cows, just because they've been inside, I mean, they have this outdoor access and stuff like that, but they got some ringworm going on or some conditions and stuff like that. They're dairy cows, so they're going to be a little bit skinnier and stuff like that. But Daenerys and Kylie, Milkweed's a different story. She's in with the bull right now. But Kylie and Daenerys they look great. Their coats are super shiny. they're always full and they put on weight great, and they're low to the ground. They're stocky, low to the ground. They have good hips. They have really healthy hooves, and they got big heads, but they're also feminine too. So I think they look great. Okay, all right, guys. I'm getting harassed out here. Jeez. But yeah. Surprising. It's just crazy how strong these guys are. I don't know why they're so interested in me right now. They're not usually like this. They know they're on camera. But yeah. And so yeah, that's basically the thing that I want to do, and I think it is pretty achievable. So far, really, what we've done is we got the LLC all set, so that paperwork is all set, which is great, which is great. Oh, look at this! Look at this, beautiful cow. So we got the LLC all set, we got the paperwork all set, which is a good first step. Just get legit and all that kind of stuff. We got the bank account set up. We're currently working with, or let's just do all the things that we've done. So we got the LLC set up, we got the bank account set up, and we bought the cows. That officially went through. This is Kylie and Daenerys. That's good timing right there. Kylie and Daenerys, these are the cows that we brought. They got great, slick coats, super docile. Let me come up to them and touch them and all that kind of stuff. They just look fantastic. They're big, they're wider framed. They're half low-line Angus, half Holstein, and specifically Kylie and Daenerys, their moms were some of the oldest living cows that we had on the farm, so they have good longevity genetics. I hopefully think that they're going to have good udders. They're not bred yet. They're virgin heifers, and we're trying to get them bred in July, so they're going to be spring. They're calving in the spring, which I think the calves that were born in the spring and had access to the good lush grass and all that kind of stuff, those I felt like were the most successful, and they look the greatest. And I believe that Kylie and Daenerys were spring calves. I can't remember, but they just look great. It's funny, they're the same height, but about double the size of some of these dairy cows, which is pretty cool. And what we're trying to do, the next steps that we're working on right now, is we're working with an attorney just to get the operating agreement all done. I think that, just in case we want to have some people come on, invest money and all that kind of stuff, we want to have a good operating agreement that's solid. I'm getting chewed up here. That is nice and solid, and looked over by an attorney. And before you guys say oh, that's really expensive and all that kind of stuff, this attorney has been absolutely amazing. They said they do it pro bono just because I'm a young farmer getting started out. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, do you want to do some casework? What do you charge and all that kind of stuff? And he's like, I'll do it pro bono because you're just getting started out. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a lease. For those of you who, I'll just say the knowledge, I'm just looking around to make sure that no one's around here because it's embarrassing talking to the camera. I'm not the only person that lives here, but when you get a lease, this is the biggest thing too that I've heard, is that the lease is really important, not just for you, but for both parties. And basically this lease is gonna say, it's not gonna be a long-term lease just because it's the first time I've ever done this stuff. But it's going to be a lease, and it's going to basically say, you can't just kick me off the property. You can't just be like, you're gone one day. It's also going to outline some things like improvements and stuff like that. We got the soil test back from the actual field, or the actual 16.6 acres that I'm going to be grazing this summer, and the pH was 5.5, which is not good enough not high enough basically to grow legumes, and legumes mostly is going to be clover up here in Maine. You need that pH to be higher. So what I think I'm going to be doing is spreading some lime. I don't know how expensive that is going to be, but I mean, just by asking ChatGPT and the internet and stuff like that, it doesn't seem like it's going to be too much. And I don't know if I can do it by hand. I know back in the day, I mean, I remember my dad just pushing the line thing on the lawn, I know that's hard to do for 16.6 acres, but these guys are really not going to be on the property, or they're not going to be grazing the whole 16.6 acres. That's too much grass for them. They really only need 3. if that. They're smaller breed. They're meant to have a smaller input. Okay, Gibby, jeez. I named this guy, but he's really just rubbing on me. All right, we gotta take a moment just to scratch everybody or they're gonna start getting wily. I know you're not supposed to do that because it encourages it, but it's hard not to, come on. Oh, one thing too that we got done, jeez. It's hard to focus when these guys are rubbing on me like this, is we got insurance for these guys. I reached out and I asked because, you know, like regular businesses have insurance and all that kind of stuff, and just in case, because I'll be leasing these guys on a different property, just in case something happens to them, or if something, say someone's dog chases them, and then they run into some kid and knock his teeth out, like I'll be liable for that. So we got total comprehensive insurance and stuff like that. This is Lilith. I named you. Where's your twin sister, Lilith and Lilac? We got the comprehensive insurance. I was like, how much is this gonna cost me? Is this gonna cost me an arm and a leg? It's $250 a year, and it does up to $2 million in damages. So I'm like, I'm doing that, 100%. Danny's chewing a little bit of grass right here. She's chewing her cud. Looks nice and full. Just beautiful, beautiful cow. Big head. Big head. The bigger the head, the more grass that they can eat. Look how docile she is. She's not spooked at all. Those are the type of cows that I definitely want to be working with. But yeah, I did the insurance and all that kind of stuff, and it was great. And it's not that expensive, you know. Find a really good guy that can just help you out, and they want to help out people because, I mean, or we'll figure it out if they really want to help it out. But he seemed like he's gonna get paid and stuff like that, and it's really not that expensive, $250. Okay, let's check. All right, so one thing we got is like the website. The website is something that I have past experience with my other job. I used to work in software back in Boston when I first graduated college, then I transitioned all the way to dairy farming, and now I want to get into beef farming. So with the website, working with one of my buddies, family friend, and stuff like that, I'm going to be doing that. And if that doesn't work out, I'm just going to end up just taking that myself. And I don't think that's, I mean, once you create the stuff, I have experience doing stuff with WordPress and all that kind of stuff. I might switch to something that's more simple and less expensive. I know there's like Wix and Squarespace and all that kind of stuff. We're not really selling a product, so we don't have to be integrated with Shopify or anything like that yet. But where I could literally sit down like right now. But yeah, I really want that space to be kind of like a space where like hopefully a community can kind of meet together. We can post some things, we can learn from each other. And then I also can post like all the stuff that I've been learning. And yeah, share it with you guys. So if you want to recreate what I'm doing, because I think it's feasible. I mean, like, all you gotta do is find someone willing to rent out their property. A lot of these people, they just have 20 acres in their backyard and they love to see animals on it. So why don't you just lease it? They get some money in your pocket, you get to make money and revitalize the soil and grow something that's absolutely amazing like these guys right here. And yeah, hopefully keep it going. I mean, I just think it's absolutely amazing that you can have an animal like this that's docile, and turn something inedible on the ground that grows into something that we can consume, either meat or milk. And yeah, you know, it's just an amazing thing. So trying to get the website done. This is Adelheid. She got pneumonia, or no, she didn't get pneumonia. She just was sick, and we had to doctor her up and stuff like that, and she was really skittish for a while because we had to basically give her a lot of the stuff, like an IV and all that kind of stuff, and that's stressful for them because you have to lock them into the head gates and then give them an IV, all that kind of stuff, painful. But she's rubbing on me now, so she trusts us again. Oh, she's so sweet. So sweet. Such a sweet cow. Oh. And yeah, I mean, I love dairy. This is one of my favorite aspects of dairy is you really get to interact with these cows all the time. They're super nice to you because you interact with them every single day. And maybe beef's gonna be a little bit different, but hopefully I can breed some cows that are nice and docile and you know, will love to just be around humans. And sometimes being around humans is like, sometimes you need them to move, and it's really a pain in the butt when they don't want to move. So I'm able to learn that the hard way. I breed 2 docile cows, and they're too lazy, and they don't want to go anywhere into the next paddock, and they just want to chill and scratch on you all day. But it's better than cows that are so afraid of you that they'll try to kill you every time they see you. They run off into the woods every time they see you. But I just love how this is my cow. I own this cow, and she's coming right up to me, and yeah, it's a really special feeling. I don't really know how to describe it. You have to be here to feel it, you know. But yeah, another thing that we're trying to do. Oh yeah, this is something that's really important, and it's going to be a learning process because I'm doing something that I think is not recommended. So I don't have enough money to build permanent fencing, right? I don't have enough money to put up high tensile, right? I don't have enough money to buy all that kind of stuff. And once you put up permanent fencing, it's permanent, you know? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use these white posts, which are fiberglass posts, and a post pounder, right? And basically I'm gonna use those white posts to make a permanent fence perimeter. And I'm gonna be using 3 geared, large Gallagher reels, and I'm going to be basically using a solar charger, a 1 joule solar charger from Gallagher, to basically keep these guys contained. Maybe have some sheep in there and all that kind of stuff. And I might learn quickly that that's not going to work. These guys are fence trained, I guess, hopefully. I might have to fence train them. And yeah, that's basically going to be the setup. It's going to be 3 strands, or probably just 2, because I'll use 1 to subdivide the paddocks and stuff like that. And yeah, I think we'll keep them in. Hopefully that works. And in that case, it's not really like super expensive to do that. And you know, I heard a lot of the thing about it. I've heard a lot of people say it's a bad idea, or like they're kind of don't understand it because they haven't thought about it, I guess. And you know, I think that rather than, because it makes sense in my mind, and I'd rather see it fail with my own eyes than never try to do it, you know? A lot of people, until you try something and are successful with it, they don't even want to think it's an option. They'll tell you not to do it. But yeah, so we got to get that fencing and stuff like that. We're going to get the geared reels. We're going to get the stepping posts. We're going to get the more permanent fiberglass posts. We're going to get the solar charger. And then another big expense that I think might eat up most of my capital is going to be a solar pump. There's no electricity and there's no water on this property. There's a well. We'll see what the state of the well is. Once this snow melts around here, I'm going to go and try to excavate the well and all that kind of stuff. And they had animals up there before. So, you know, if people could, in the 1970s, could farm up there and have livestock, then I can farm and have livestock too. That's my philosophy for it. And the people that are kind of letting me lease this land or letting me use this land, like, they are very confident that I'll be able to do it too, so I feel good about it. I might have to become a plumber, electrician, grazer all in a couple months, but the contract with this place that I'm working on right now is that I have to have them out mid-April. I think it's like April 19th or April something like that. Hopefully the grass is growing, you know. I'm just going to manifest that the grass is growing, and I think it is. I think it will be, hopefully. There's only going to be 3 cows out there, and there might only be 2, and then like 10 sheep or something like that. One thing that we also have to do too, once we got all the, I think that the field and grazing supplies and the fencing supplies, I think that's going to come out to hopefully $2,000, maybe less. I really hope less. And then I think the solar fencing, or a solar well pump, I think it's probably going to be $1,000, hopefully, you know, just from what I mean, you could easily spend $2,000 on that kind of stuff, but I just don't need that much water right now, you know? And if I want to do this with multiple paddocks and all that kind of stuff, like, man, that's a big investment to spend $2,000 on every single paddock. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, say if you were going to spend $100,000 on a farm, $100,000 farm ain't really going to get you much. But if you only needed $2,000 to really outfit a farm, outfit a leased area and stuff like that, you can make $100,000 go a long way, especially with buying cattle and all that kind of stuff. So that's where it makes kind of sense to me. You know, I think that it might be a nightmare dealing with property owners and all that kind of stuff, but you know, I'll figure that out. I don't have the capital right now to I don't have the capital, and I don't want to go to the bank and get a loan for a lot of money that's going to keep me cemented in a certain place. I don't know if that's like a changing philosophy that we have and stuff like that. I think I'm probably just picking up what other dairy farmers are telling me, other beef farmers are telling me, and trying to come up with a different way of doing it. And I think Greg Judy is the first thing that makes me excited about it. It makes me feel like it can actually happen, you know? But yeah. I think too, one thing that I think we might have to capitalize on is Milkweed. She's over here. Maybe we'll get some footage of her. She's actually in with a bull right now. She's in with a Jersey bull. And my idea basically is I'm gonna get her blood tested soon. She's gonna be in with a bull for 60 days. That means she could cycle twice. And if she's bred, you know, I'm gonna list her online and see if anybody wants to buy her. She's an organic, bred, low-line Angus cow. And I think, you know, could get some good money for her, and then put some money in the bank for the company, and that money would help us buy some fencing supplies, and also, you know, I think anybody that does irrigation and stuff like that, you can say you bought all the hose clamps, all like the plastic fittings, all that kind of stuff. You can say you're done, you're good. But once you get out in the field, you're going to be like, okay, I need this specific thing. I'm going to have to run to the hardware store, spend $50 on stuff, come back, it doesn't fit, you can't return it, all that kind of stuff. So I think just having some extra money when it comes to the irrigation stuff specifically is really going to help us out and just give me some peace of mind. And yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to be a good grazing season. We're going to get the website done. And yeah, a lot of people have been helping us out. There's chewing on my thumb. I thought you were a freaking vegetarian. What are you doing? It's a steer named Bernard with horns. Look at that. Oh, they're nice and loose. Does that hurt, buddy? This is about that. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of update about that. I've been posting some videos of me just doing my work at the dairy that I work with and stuff like that, and it's been really fun. I haven't been getting too many views and stuff like that, but I'm still getting some views, and you know, I've only been doing this for like a week or so, and I got 30 plus subscribers, so I'm like, you know, I just gotta keep hammering on this and updating you guys. It's really gonna get exciting once this snow melts and I'll be able to actually start installing fence and all that kind of stuff. But for right now, we're just in the planning phase. We're getting things sorted out, getting a website. We're trying to keep it as cheap as possible, getting the website, getting the articles of formation done. We got that done, so we got the LLC, now we got the insurance, doing the lease agreement, all that kind of stuff. It's really fun, trying to do it legit. And yeah, one thing too that is going to be interesting is we have too much land. And I know that sounds like, how could you have too much land? You know, we just have too much. We have 16 to 20 acres of grazable land, and we only got two or three cows and maybe 10 sheep, and that's just not enough. There's not enough stocking. Like you're understocked on your farm. So basically, what's going to happen? This is going to happen no matter what. Is that, you know, I'm going to put the cows on, and basically they're going to flash graze. They're going to graze. They're going to mop. They're going to graze really fast. They're going to be rotating really fast around the farm, basically to keep the seeds head from the grass from seeding and then becoming less nutritious. And then at some point, the cows are just not going to be able to keep up with the grass, and then it's going to start getting lignous and all that kind of stuff. And then I might rent a brush hog and mow that, or clip the pastures and all that kind of stuff. I don't really know. I've never stockpiled before, but I heard that is something that you can do. And also, I don't own the property. So these people are going to look at me and they're going to say, are you going to graze that area? And I'm going to be like, well, it's really not nutrition for the cows. It's lignous and all that kind of stuff. And they're going to be like, well, it's ugly. So can you mow it? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, I can mow it. But really, like, if we had 20 cows, that'd be perfect. But we only got 2. We're only going to have 2 or 3, depending on if milkweed is bred and I want to sell her. Or if she's not bred, maybe I'm going to send her to the butcher and we're going to see if this meat actually tastes good. You know? Sorry, don't listen to that. But, yeah, I mean, we were just understocked right now. And I'm so happy that I have this much land. It's like if I was only working with 5 acres, it'd be a little bit difficult. But what's even more difficult is you got to think about, like, okay, I got to figure out where the best forage is. And then I'm going to have to basically take, I think, 5 acres. And that's going to be the section that I rotate them through. And we're going to do intensive rotational grazing 1 year on the farm. And then the next year on the farm, we're going to do that other section. Maybe we're going to seed this other section and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be, I'm really excited, and I don't feel overwhelmed yet. You know, maybe I'm going to be feeling overwhelmed soon. I think that the water is going to be a big question. Whether or not we can get the water to work is going to be a huge question. But yeah, I was just making sure that we were recording. That would have been really bad if we weren't. But yeah, for those of you, well, I'll just say my name is Cooper Giblin. I'm starting a cow company from scratch, specifically a genetic herd that's focused on creating a small-framed, grass-fed, healthy cow that I can sell to other farms and also just have for my own stock and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just bringing you guys along with me, and hopefully I can get some good tips. I can give some good tips and all that kind of stuff, and create a community, sell some cows, all that kind of stuff. And just really document this and learn from it. I can't wait to look at this video, and then look at the video in the fall of next year after the grazing season of this summer, and just be like, wow, I learned so much through this whole process. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Cooper Giblin, and we'll see you in the next video.